zoom in here, that Sean posted for the last meeting. So he's got the attendance here, accepted previous minutes. Welcome to Bolton sign, downtown initiative grant, 713 Main. Yeah, looks like it's all there. I don't know, does anybody have any? Well, actually, I guess you all didn't get that. So if anybody has any.
I sent it out to everybody earlier today.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, it wasn't just me. Yeah, so if there's any comments, otherwise just a motion to accept and it's good.
Motion to accept.
A second.
In favor?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, good. Okay, so yeah, sorry we missed the last couple of months, but I didn't want to waste people's time and have a meeting if it was just going to be a similar brainstorming discussion. I wanted to have something concrete to talk about. Since the time we last met, the town did get a grant for, we got a grant for a business district study, which we call the main. Oh, let me just open it up. Let me change my sharing. Let's see, share. Do I have that open? Just going to share my whole screen. It's easier. Oh. Let's see. Let me open this up. You guys, are you seeing this?
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. Is it big enough?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I wanted to have something concrete to talk about. We had the name of the company is on the bottom. The consultant is Fine Point Associates. So they do this for towns. So this person, she created this survey. So there's two surveys, one for the owners along the Main Street corridor. And that's, so we had to kind of pick a district, which we call the Main Street corridor. And that's basically from Bolton Orchards to, what do they say? Bolton Orchards to Bolton Spring Farm. So okay. It's basically all of 117, including Slater's. The only thing it doesn't include is the industrial zone. So there's two surveys. I think they're both good. I don't know if you had a chance to go through them. So I think maybe I'll just go through them really quick. And if you have any comments, I'll write them down as we go. The reason is that I kind of want to make sure we got this meeting is because she's supposed to have feedback to the consultant tomorrow. So I wanted to have our input with it. So let me go through it. I don't know if it makes sense. You can interrupt me at any time or just give comments at the end if you don't think the general flow is good or whatever. You know, so any comments we have. So
Eric, will you be able to scroll this up? So I mean, we're only seeing
I'll go
like
through
number one, right? I'm just making sure I'm okay. Good. I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
all
sure.
Good, all good.
If
all
it
good.
looks like I'm talking about something that's on a screen, let me know.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Do you know, did they decide to expand it? I think when we first spoke, it was mostly only going to be like a small section. So I think it's great that we did expand it as far as we did. I just didn't know they were willing to do that.
Yeah, they were originally only going to do just around 495, but we had a couple of meetings, and so I guess they opened it up. I don't know if it's just the survey that opened it up for, or if they're going to go even deeper into it. But I mean, it's a pretty good survey, so
yeah,
I'll go through it. So question one is, I think it's just asking if you're a commercial property owner or if you're a business owner, like for instance, the candle shop, they own a business, but they don't own the property. So just to get an idea of that. So then question two is like, what type of business is your establishment, retail, restaurant? So just get an idea of who we're talking to. How long has your business been in operation? How many people work for you? Are you considering any of the following in the next 5 years? But this would be really good information to have. Expanding your facility, increasing staff, renovating, moving business outside, and if so, why? Closing business. And for any reason, if you're closing or moving the business outside. So that will be all good information to have. What percentage of your annual salaries of customers would you what percentage of your annual sales would you estimate comes from the residents of Bolton? That's probably a tough question for them to answer, but I guess they have a general feel. What is your average weekly customer count of on-site customers? And people were interested to know before and after COVID, for the different types of retail or restaurants, like if it's low or higher, about the same. So this is I think a really good question. They want to know if basically any regulations in town, or what particular regulations in town are impacting their business. Like if it's the use table, the zoning regulations, licensing or permitting, signing regulations, parking, Board of Health regulations, outdoor dining, or selling regulations, other regulations, or just any impediments that the town, I guess, or the state or anything in general is slowing down their business. So I think that would be good business to have, good information to have.
Would this include things like water, septic, parking? Oh yeah, parking, I see that.
Parking's there are some questions on water and septic later.
Okay.
But maybe that should be listed here as well. I mean, there's allowed uses, change of use, zoning
Maybe just
regulations,
like public
infrastructure
or something like that.
Yeah, maybe that's a good point. Okay, cool. Let's see, what else have we got? So this is kind of when, your major, one of the heat index kind of is an advantage to a disadvantage. Where do you fall? Would you like to find it? We would like to find out any advantages and disadvantages of the Main Street corridor as a business location, particularly for your business and to your commercial tenants. So demographics of nearby trade area. Basically, I mean, if you're a type of business that they don't feel like people are in the area for, so just choose advantage to disadvantage. The traffic is a disadvantage to advantage. Access for cars, parking, visibility, awareness, proximity to complementary businesses, proximity to competing businesses, rental costs, aesthetics, imaging. So just to get an overall feel of if it helps or hurts the town. So that'll be good information. So on top of what we just added to 9, I think it's good to have it at 9. This is specifically talking about the public water supply. So we would like to know if the lack of a public water supply has directly impacted your business or property in the last 3 years. Please check all that apply to you. Want to expand business, but could not expand due to restrictions limited to water use. I've had prospective business tenants turn down rental space due to restrictions. I wanted to further develop, improve my property, but was not able to due to the restrictions related to the water supply. So that would be a really good question to know how much that's holding people back. And, maybe we could even put, a financial number. It's like how much we would take in versus how much would go out to add that.
Do they ask a similar question about the lack of public septic?
I don't think so. I think they focused on water, but
okay.
I could add that. Public sewer. No, it doesn't look like it's in here. Maybe we should put that in there as well.
I think so, because I feel like, that's just as impactful for a lot of businesses as water.
I agree.
Yeah, would that be a part of the same question, or does it need to be standalone, like water supply versus septic, or they really need both?
It should
Yeah,
be a
maybe-
separate question, but I think Valerie said we're maxed out in terms of the survey length. So if we want to squeeze it in there, we might have to figure out a way to.
Yeah, squeeze it in 11.
Mhm.
Um, Sounds good. Okay, thank you. So please rate your level of agreement with the following statements. Bolton is a business-friendly town. Where's it going to be? I don't know. I'm happy with my business commercial property location. I like the idea of road improvements to decrease congestion and ease entering and exiting by creating some kind of shared access way. I don't even really know what this question means.
Yeah, that was the one that Valerie, it's a lot. Like there's a lot of content in it. I feel like the statement could be a little bit more consolidated.
Yeah,
I like the idea of road improvements to decrease congestion and ease entering and exiting by creating some kind of shared access way from business properties to Route 117. I don't even really know what that means.
yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You could just leave you don't need to say I like the idea, I guess, or maybe you can, but just cut it after or before the and. So just, I like the idea of road improvements to decrease congestion and ease entering or ease access to 117.
Yeah,
Kind of a leading question though, isn't it? Like that. I don't know.
And I like the
Like,
idea
you guys-
of like leading.
Do you guys strongly agree that this awesome new traffic improvement to our town?
no, I don't want that.
Yeah, I guess they're leading toward the rotary that they're going to add, basically. Yeah, that is weird. It's kind of a leading question. And,
Yeah, I'm guessing most people will agree with that statement.
Right.
right.
Yeah, I think if you got to remove the I like the idea, you could just say, the following statements.
Yeah.
I guess it has to be a statement that you can agree or disagree with, though.
Road improvements will help decrease congestion and ease access to Route 117.
Aren't they all sort of leading questions by that, reading that?
Well, I guess you could
I'm
say
happy
Bolton
with,
is a
I
bit
like it, I support.
Yeah, Bolton is a business-friendly town. You know, if you've had issues, you'd say I strongly disagree. So that's a good question. I'm happy with my business commercial property location. I mean, that could be, but this one is just a weird question.
I think, I think Sean, I think who it was, I can't remember who it was, had a good idea to maybe take off the second half of it. It seems like it could be a little bit more condensed.
Yeah, so just I like the idea of road improvements to decrease congestion and ease entering and exiting, period. Right?
Yeah. If you wanted to say to 117, but I feel like that might be implied by the
That's
survey.
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to see if we need to do more work on 117 itself.
Okay. In general, I support the idea of the town creating public water and wastewater. So here's the first time they talk about sewer infrastructure with the understanding that this would entail a monthly water and wastewater fee. I agree. It still should probably be before, like if it's impacted the business.
It's going to be hard to answer that without knowing what the fee is, though. Like people are going to be like, wait, what fee? Like, is it $10,000 or is it $100? You know, I think
that's how I would answer it. What's the fee?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so early on that, we wouldn't even know, but I guess maybe
if you need to, I think if you need to, you could restate that, or you could describe it as a reasonable fee.
Yeah, I think that reasonable helps. You could still say what is reasonable, but it's at least a little bit clear that that would be the intention, I guess.
Right, saying it's not absorbent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me put that. what changes, improvements can the town make to improve the environment to business success in commercial property development along the Main Street corridor? So just kind of an open-ended, what can be improved? Then we asked for the business name and the address, and then optionally your own contact. So that's the business portion. Any overall thoughts or comments besides the ones we took?
How is this getting distributed?
I'm not quite sure if, so for the business proper, I guess we would, directly either mail it or email it to every single owner.
Okay.
On the residential, I think they plan to try to get it in the paper and put it on the town website and just Facebook, just get it out everywhere possible. You can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we should, if we can figure out a way to track like percentage of, I don't know if it's business owners, but same thing for residents that have responded, we could try to, I don't know, set a bar that we feel comfortable with that would give good data to actually support any changes.
Right. So for this particular one, when they ask for the business name and they say it's helpful to know which business and property owners have responded to the survey so that we can follow up with people who we haven't heard from. So for the business one, we're trying to get everybody, I guess. Responses only be reported honestly. Yeah. Okay. So there's that guy.
Do they have a set time that the survey is going to be open for, or is it at the discretion of the town to decide?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I think usually setting a deadline is always a good thing to get people to go, probably. I don't know that they've talked about that. I think they were just creating the survey to start. But yeah, some time frame, I'm not sure.
Eric, I'm sorry, did you say that this was an online survey or it was going to be a hand survey, paper survey?
I'm not sure. It makes sense to me to be both, but especially for the businesses, to have it online. I'm not sure because they're going to be collecting the data, this company, but that's a good point. I mean, how do you think it would be best?
Both.
I would assume online, but I might not be typical resident.
Yeah, I mean, most people are online. When we do the residential, there's probably some older folks who would do a hand one, but I'm sure 90+% is probably online at this point.
You're likely going to get a response online rather than if somebody has to mail something back in.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%. It should lead with online. But yeah, I can ask that. I'm not sure that came up in the meeting distribution.
Did we ever get like a master list of every business and contact information?
Yeah, we have that.
Because I mean, I think it would be helpful to follow up, after they've had it for a bit, just to make sure they've received it and let them know that it's really valuable information that, I mean, I don't know if that's something that we're supposed to be, I mean, is this something we're doing or we're just helping Valerie create this?
So we can definitely help out. Right now, she got the grant. I guess it's sort of part of the master planning group, which I know, Amy, you and I are a part of. So in the meetings with this consultant, it was me, because being the chairman of the EDC, it was Mark Sprague, chairman of the planning board, Brian Boyle, chairman of the advisory, Bob Romer, who is chairman of master plan, and then Valerie. That's who was meeting.
Okay.
But definitely, she wanted to have the EDC's input to the questions, and if we could help with distributing it or getting more people to respond, that would be great.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Yeah. So here's the residential one. So we ask, maybe some people outside of Bolton would answer this. So like people who work in Bolton or come through Bolton, if they somehow got their hands on it. So we asked for the zip code. I think that's the only identifying information we asked from somebody is what's your zip code. I don't believe it. I don't remember there being a name at the bottom. Nope. No. And then do you work in Bolton, live in Bolton or none? So check all that apply.
How about both?
Eric, does that include like work from home? I guess I'm assuming it does.
I guess you would live in Bolton then, but maybe that's a good point. If you work from home, maybe that's a good point of information to have.
Can we just add a choice for live and work from Bolton?
Yeah, we could do work from home. I mean, because then you assume they live in Bolton. Work from home in Bolton, I guess.
You have to check all that apply, yeah.
Yeah. Let me add that. Okay, cool. That would be good to know, how many people are there. So let's see, how often do you go to the Main Street corridor to visit any business? So several times a week, once a week, 2 to 3 times a month. So I mean, they're really trying to get a feel of the audience for the businesses, like especially in town, like how many times you're actually going to those, that area. Like if doesn't make sense, if people go, I go once per month and I'm not really interested in it, then maybe it doesn't make sense to really focus on this. But if people go a lot, multiple times a week and, further on, they show interest in this area, then, maybe that's an area we want to focus on. So how does the frequency of visits to Main Street quarter businesses now compared to before COVID? Similar question as before. Increased, decreased? I mean, actually going local, I think, it's probably increased. Like I know we go to Bolton Orchards more and stuff now. So, I mean, I think for us, my family was probably increased, but I'm not sure about others. Which of the businesses in Main Street quarter have you visited in the last 7 days? So they're just trying to get, how often, like, I'm not sure, like I was a little questionable on this question because maybe it was a weird week and, then it would look bad if you haven't visited any of them, but.
Yeah, last week, maybe it could be like month.
Yeah, I think, maybe 7 days is a little small of a window. Maybe month. Maybe
Why do we care? And why did we pick those 6?
I think it was just a cross range. I mean, we don't have many businesses in town anyway, but like Bolton Bean is kind of a restaurant, then the bank, convenience store, kind of a grocery store. I don't know why the post office is here. I wouldn't really call that a business. Slater's restaurant.
The post office one's a little different.
Right.
Yeah, that could probably come out.
I wonder if it could be replaced with, do we have like a retail one that we would put in instead of it?
And candle shop.
Or just maybe just in general, say like retail, restaurant, bank, make it not the specific place.
Like get rid of all these names altogether.
Yeah.
Like actually, that's the point. Like a retail, food establishment, bank, grocer, convenience, and then we have like the Barre dance studio in that, like so like a fitness.
Oh, is he frozen?
Looks like.
I don't know what you'd call it. Hello.
You froze, but you're good now.
Oh, I am? Okay, I could hear you the whole time. So I'm good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I just have the document up, so I can't even see what's going on. So anyway, I was saying, instead of having these specific ones, like you guys said, we could have retail, food establishment, bank or service, or just service like bank, hair place, stuff like that. Grocer, convenience, then what else? Oh, like fitness, health, Like we have a couple of like health, like well-being and fitness type places. Does that sound like better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
you might
block
want
it.
to add medical in there, right? There's a doctor's office, there's a vet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dentists. Yeah.
That's a really good point, because what if you just didn't hit these items? And also, should the 7 days change to like use somebody
Well,
said a month?
I think if you open it up, 7 days might be fine, because if you do a month, someone might, I mean, odds are maybe everyone selects all of them, but does that show that our businesses are getting a lot of traffic? But 7 days is a better pulse if it's not, so I guess focused on
Specific.
one business. Yeah.
All right, so let me write down. So
Or you could
question-
word it like, which of these businesses do you visit multiple times a month? Or something like that. If we're trying to get a sense for how regularly these businesses are visited in town. A week is such a small sample size, like you guys are saying.
Hmm.
So we said retail, food establishment. I just, for all, from Subway to Jay's, I would, I guess. I don't know if that's too big of a category to say food establishment, but what else do we say? Service, bank,
Dentist and doctor.
would that be medical?
Yeah, medical. Okay.
Dentist, doctor, vet. I guess we do have one. Bank, hair salon. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we said fitness, well-being. Fitness. So,
Because that could also be essentials therapy or.
exactly, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, the dance studio, essentials. Was the something in Curve or something? You were there, I think, maybe.
Oh, the personal training place?
No, is it for something moms who recently had children?
Oh, nature and nurture?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, I don't know what you would call that really. That's.
Yeah, you could strike the facility. I mean, any well-being, fitness, health could be any type of it. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, to me, and then you could keep the 7, like you said. So that's a good suggestion, because like, what if you went, I don't know, what if you went to Subway every single day?
Yeah. Right.
Or Jay's. So that's a good point.
It also might show bias. Like if your name's not there as a business, are you going to be a little, angry about it?
Well, did we miss something? I think it was pretty general.
No, but I mean, just when you write the specific.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, in its current state. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Change more general type. Uses, potential, hurt feelings, / bias. Yeah, I think that question works a lot better like that. So that's 5. I guess we could say other for the 6 point. Or I don't know, we could say town, like they put post office. I don't know. Just other is probably good.
Others, fine.
Yeah. Which business in Main Street? Because it's in the Main Street quarter. So that
Mhm.
gets everything.
Yeah.
Okay. We would like to get some input about the types of patterns of commercial development you would like to see in Bolton. Please indicate your level of agreement or disagreement with the following statements. So I'd like to see a greater variety of businesses that provide wider availability of goods and services in Bolton. That's so general. I'm interested in more. So I would like to see a greater variety of businesses that provide wider availability of goods and services in Bolton.
I think it's
I
good.
guess
I think it's
Yeah.
fine. It's
Okay.
like, do you just really not want business, or are you like in favor of some business coming in?
Yeah, I'm interested in more commercial development in Bolton in order to increase tax revenue. So I guess they're talking about like bigger, like office parks and stuff like that. Like, well, so I guess this first question is, do you want like small pointed businesses like candle shops and stuff, like goods and services, health stuff? Or do you not care? You just want some big commercial development just for tax revenue? I think that's what they're getting at. I would like to see mixed use development in some areas, e.g. commercial uses.
Eric, I'm sorry, on that last point, does anybody really care about an increase in tax revenue, or would they care what may be implied from that, which might be either relief on property tax or lower or fewer increases? I don't think anybody's going to say we want to increase the tax revenue necessarily, right?
Yeah, that's like a very bureaucratic way of saying, you know, that I guess what they should say, I'm interested in more commercial development in Bolton to slow down or decrease, well, to lower or preserve the current tax rate or something. The revenue is
offset, yeah, or something like that.
Like, because when you say revenue, that's how they talk about it in town hall. They talk about taxes. They talk about taxes as revenue.
Right.
So
but
like
most people aren't in town hall though, right? So
well, that's what I'm saying. But
suggestion.
that's probably why the question came out like that. Talking about tax revenue, because that's basically how they think of it, you know. So if the residence is taking it, yeah, it should be like a tax rate reduction or something, or to help with the tax rate instead of to increase tax revenue to help improve the tax rate. I don't know how to word it exactly, but
do we want to say, so more could be very broad as well? Like, I guess, what are we looking for? Like small, like some, like minor, like what is, because someone might read commercial development and say, I strongly disagree. I don't want our town to become, you know, like a Burlington, Mass or something like that. Whereas we're not really talking about that, but I don't know how people would interpret it.
So maybe this should be two questions. Be like, I'm interested in more commercial, more like small. Like I'm thinking.
I mean,
like
I suspect nobody wants. I mean, I'm not trying to discount the idea of breaking it into two, but I mean, do we really need to understand if the level at this point? Are we trying to understand the amount of commercial development or investment in Bolton? Or are we trying to understand, would people be open to additional commercial development in Bolton?
Yeah, I think we're looking for that, but I think maybe I think Sean was trying to differentiate between a smaller country cupboard type building versus an office park.
Yeah, I just feel like if it's worded like this, the answer is going to be strongly disagree or disagree. I don't know if we're going to learn a lot from the way it's worded currently.
Right. So
I mean, I can't imagine well, I guess some people won't. It's two, yeah, I get it. Like it's two different things. Of course you want to increase tax revenue, but you may not want commercial development.
Right. There could be something in between, which is probably more Bolton, the way people typically respond, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what to say. I just know that
I guess, yeah. I guess it would make a difference of what they're trying to get from the question. Are they wondering if people want more commercial development, or do they want to know if people want business to help reduce tax rate, increase?
So the way I read it is that, you know, they're like saying, as long as the tax revenue is increased, i.e. taxes are reduced, put anything in here that you want. I think that's I think that's the sense I get from the question. So like, I don't care what you put in if it affects tax, if it helps taxes. So it is kind of like a weird question. That's why I don't know if it's best to like differentiate small development versus large. Like small retail development be one question. The next question be like a larger office space type development. I don't know. I don't know how to change it.
I
Maybe that's
kind of
why they
read
put it
these
there.
two questions as just trying to understand people's motivation for businesses coming to town. Maybe they just need to be worded in a more similar way if that's the case to avoid confusion. Because I think the way they're worded kind of throws it off with commercial development. Like that makes me picture like the development in Hudson, where I
So
think
maybe-
they're just referring to
maybe-
commercial development in general, i.e. greater variety of businesses. Are you looking for that because you want more goods and services? Are you looking for that because you want more tax revenue coming in town? Do you strongly agree with both? You know,
I think that's a good point. I think we could use the same wording as the first question, right? So I would like to see a greater variety of businesses to increase tax revenue from commercial property. I think that's a good distinction.
You could say business development or just businesses, because then it's like, yes, that's more broad, but at least it focuses on kind of what the ask of people is. Because there's that question later with the images, right? So that's going to be more, that's going to give more information. Whoever selects what images is going to tell you what type of development they're looking for.
Right. Well, I think the word commercial is what really throws this question off, because when you think commercial, it's, is it a Walmart, or is it like Highland Commons? Like what if you just took out the word commercial? I'm interested in more development in Bolton in order to increase tax revenue from commercial property.
Well, I think they're just trying to distinguish commercial versus residential. But it's like you said, that word, like commercial development, makes me picture Highland Commons.
Just how about just business? I'm interested in more businesses in Bolton in order to increase tax revenue.
Yeah. So I'm interested in more business, get rid of development altogether, right? I'm interested in more business in Bolton in order to increase tax revenue. Period.
Yeah, I would argue we worded exactly the same as that first question, and just I would like to see a greater variety of businesses in order to increase tax revenue from commercial property. And that way it's like
right, because so the first one's for the goods and services, the second one's for tax revenue. So
right, and maybe you strongly agree with both, maybe you strongly agree with one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be more informative because hopefully you get people liking both of the first two, but you're going to know which one people are more strong.
Right. Do you want goods or do you care about taxes? I think that's a really good point. Second point. It's kind of like, I'm just going to say it's not a good state. Would be using to responder should change to be similar to the first. The first is about goods and services. Second would be about tax revenue. Ooh, going off the page. So we'd say,
if you phrase them that way, you're able to tell why people want more business.
That provide in order to increase tax revenue. Yeah, okay. I'd like to see a greater variety of businesses in order to increase tax revenue. That's a really good change, I think. Makes a lot more sense. I'd like to see mixed use development in some areas, i.e. commercial use on the first floor with residential above. Not sure how that would work and where, but I would like to see more of the type of development that includes buildings close to the front of the property and parking allocated to the side or rear. So basically, not parking lot would strip in the back. And that's kind of what we tried to get. A few years back, we changed the setback. Like a few years back, the setbacks were like 100 feet, which they almost caused parking to be in the front. So that's fine. I would like to see more pedestrian orientation of the businesses, commercial areas. I mean, I don't know what that means. Walkways, I guess, a walking. I don't know. I don't have much to add for that. Where would you like to see more businesses? So they weren't even asking this at all. And they like originally when we first started talking to them, they were really focused on 495. But I was like, I think I was the one who was really bringing up Forbush Mill Road and the town common. So this is where this, I think, set of questions comes in. So the Route 117, so where would you like to see more businesses? Route 117, 495 area, the town common area, which they say from Mechanic Street School to the library. So it's basically that town center area we talked about. The Route 117 area from Forbush Mill to Bolton Orchards. So in that current area. Then we talked about just scattered along Route 117 like it is, like not having any specific area, just a business here or there. Other areas of Bolton, which I don't even know where that would be. Nowhere. I don't want to see any more businesses in Bolton. So I think this is a pretty good question, and I'll start to see if people are open to the town common area and Forbush Mill Road.
Did you want to remove the question marks? Was that like open-ended for us to weigh in on, or was that already like set? It's the only one with like questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
This must have been the person who wrote the survey.
Yeah. Because they didn't know if it's a plaza. That's probably why they were calling it that. They don't know what it is.
Oh, they can change it to 626 Main Street. Maybe I think that's what most people know it as, right?
Probably.
I'm sure the Bolton Bean would love for us to call it the Bolton Bean Plaza.
Pretty much is.
Yeah. So that's question 7. Okay. I'll clean these up before I send them off, just in case. How would you describe the ease of accessing businesses along the Main Street corridor, getting to businesses off Route 117 and re-entering back onto Route 117? So not difficult. So slightly difficult, but does not deter me from going to businesses. Difficult sometimes deters me from going to business. Very difficult. I frequently avoid businesses along the corridor. So, I mean, they'll tell you how much traffic is an impact, I think. I know when before the Bolton Bean was getting, I guess, renovated, the all 66, we added that second driveway further east on the road because Frank Patterson was really worried about the one closer to town center trying to turn left there. It was really dangerous. And as it is, I was actually at my son's birthday party, and one of the dads was there. He's on the fire department. He says they're always responding to accidents of people coming in or going out of that plaza. So definitely a concern.
Tough to turn left out of there.
Yeah. I know when they were originally putting it in, we were even wondering, like a thought was, no turning left out of the plaza, like, or during certain times you can't turn left. Like that was even talked about, but we didn't want to get into it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's a good question about traffic concerns.
So maybe I'm opening a can of worms here, but now that I'm seeing this many choices on question 9, going back to that last question we talked about where it had like a few businesses named and we opted to take the names out and go with categories instead. If we can put that many choices in a question, why not just list all the businesses in Bolton that are, retail-ish? Like there's not that many businesses. I feel like we could capture better data if we listed them all.
Well, wouldn't this be necessary to understand like traffic patterns, the towns you're going to?
For sure. I'm not saying we should do that instead of this. I'm just saying if we have I didn't realize we had the ability to put, 15 different options for people to choose from in a question. If we can do that, we might as well, other questions, just list all the businesses.
I like what we changed it to.
Yeah, what we changed it to is fine too. I'm just,
I see a point though.
I do like this question though, because it's like, all right, where are we all going? We're not going bowling.
This is a very important question here.
And here, like we said, at least once per month, they have a month here. So yeah, all the surrounding towns. So if you're not going here, where are you going exactly? What restaurants located outside of Bolton do you frequent? When we were talking, this came up because we were saying like, what type of restaurants do you want in town? Where do you travel to? And we were saying, well, how far will you travel to? Like, I know everybody goes to like Groton a lot, and
but
people.
Don't you have that in the previous question? This seems like a strange question.
Well, I guess this is like, could we figure out which, like, I would love to see a Nan's like equivalent in Bolton. Like we go there all the time.
Yeah, but what are we gonna? I mean, what are we gonna do? We're not gonna go out actively soliciting a particular type of restaurant to open up in Bolton, would we? I mean, what would anybody do with that?
Yeah, I see a
Isn't
point.
it that? Isn't it that?
If we went to the 495, I'm using as an example, but like, let's say the 495 partnership or somebody could help us and like, hey, we've got these businesses interested. They don't really know a lot about Bolton. We'd be like, hey, those two or whatever that are looking, those are the type of businesses that we found in the survey that people are interested in. If it's
I think if you had a question that said, what type of businesses would you like in Bolton? I think that would be good. The type of restaurant just seems very specific. Like somebody wants to open a restaurant that's running the survey.
That's true.
So this next question actually.
So could we just change it to business? Does it have to be restaurant?
Well, so let's come back to 10 and see if it's covered. It's a very good point. So 11, are there any types of food service businesses you would like more in the Bolton Main Street corridor? So fast, casual, with counter service, casual restaurants, wait staff, fine dining, outdoor dining. So this is like saying, what types of restaurants do you want in town?
Why, if water and sewage infrastructure is a known problem for restaurants in Bolton, why are we asking a lot of questions about it?
Great point.
Well, I think the overall thought is, if we added, is there a desire to have more types of businesses that would use water in town? I guess is what we're trying to get at. Maybe there could be a more direct route. I don't know.
Well, I think I do remember. I don't know if you remember too. I looked at the results from the survey that was done 15 years ago, whatever it was. Restaurants was predominantly the thing that came up the most then, and it probably hasn't changed a whole lot because there hasn't been that much new in terms of like food establishments or anything else. So I think we know that people want more of that, but we don't know what type.
Well, I mean, if that's a goal, if we know that that's what people would like, then maybe an appropriate question would be, would you support a tax increase of some sort, right, to build out that's the necessary infrastructure for restaurants?
And do they get into that?
Probably not to that level, but it does come up in some.
But that seems like a much more. That seems like a very useful question, is understand, like, do people want a business? What are they willing to tolerate or to invest back in the town to get that business?
So that is a good point, because in the business one, we started asking about infrastructure, but nowhere in here, unless I missed it, we don't ask, would you be willing, to pay some amount of taxes towards building up public infrastructure?
I actually really love that question, because
Which
there's
question?
one thing to say, we want all this stuff, but are you willing to pay for it?
Right.
You could just do that as long as it flows fine. You could just replace question 10 with a more strategic one around the infrastructure, water, and
I think I like the idea of asking people what type of businesses they would like in Bolton, right? Because you get a good feel for what, like, do they want a Walmart, or do they want arts and crafts shop? But then a follow on to that is, for certain types of businesses that require it, would be like restaurants, would you be willing to invest back in the town?
Yes. So okay, so I agree, this question 10 is a little weird and doesn't really make sense. So here's 11 is where you ask about what types of restaurants, and then 12, they get into the types of businesses. And then they get back to restaurants here. This is,
what is question 12 asking? Is it what we want in town or what we go elsewhere to do?
yeah, but what I'm saying is I think we should, for what Alan was just saying, maybe 12 should come before 11. Are there any types of retail or other service businesses besides food service you would like more of in Bolton Main Street quarter? And so that's what you talk about. Do you want a drugstore or clothing or a gift
So you
shop?
basically like, can we close out the restaurant categories and then focus on a few more strategic ones?
Well, so yeah, so we can move 13 up. If you want to focus on restaurants, get rid of 10, do 11. So you're asking types of restaurants. Then you do 13, where you say approximately how often do you purchase dinner at the following type of establishments? Quick service. I think they're like trying to say what types of restaurants and how many times per week. And then
I like the idea of keeping question 10 in though, honestly, because going back to like if we do have somebody like the 495 Friends of 495 corridor that's got a Mexican restaurant, for example, that's trying to get in town, and we know that 80% of our residents leave town on a regular basis to go get Mexican food. That's valuable to know. If we know restaurants is a focus.
Right, just to have to say everybody wants a steakhouse in town or something, or a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, like I get that it's kind of a weird question, and maybe reordering them makes sense, but I do think it could prove helpful down the road to have that information.
Maybe it shouldn't be the leading question.
It
So
definitely
it
be
feels
the first question out of all of these.
Yeah, I mean, my last thing I'll say about that is it feels unbalanced, right? I'm not sure why we're favoring restaurants so much over other types of businesses that we have infrastructure to support or might have different traffic patterns associated. It might have different revenue. I mean, everybody likes restaurants, but I don't think that restaurants are actually a very stable business. I mean, they have a huge churn rate. They close down constantly.
Well, I think it depends on what type it is. Like, I mean, we go to Nan's all the time because it's not really a restaurant. It's more of like a takeout of restaurant quality cuisine that you can get very quickly. I think something like that or a sandwich.
Yeah, my point was that we seem to be like zeroing in on restaurants for some reason. I'm not clear. It's not clear to me why.
Yeah, I get your point, because we can't even really support them very well, is what you're saying. But
well, that's what the question above will tell us. If people are going to other places, then we could support it.
Yeah. Well, regardless, if we keep this in, I don't think it should be like leading everything else.
There's just a lot of questions about restaurants.
Yeah. So
what else? I mean,
clearly we all want restaurants, but
what else would you guys go to? Like, I mean, I don't know. I
just think the point of the survey is to find out what people are looking for, not all the restaurant questions are just assuming that that's what their answer is going to be. I mean, is what their answer is going to be, but I don't think
yeah, so maybe getting rid of 10 is so. I think if we started off with 12 before 11, so you're asking in general other types of retail besides food. So which Alan's is saying, our current infrastructure can handle these type of restaurants or a bunch of these much easier than. These type of businesses much easier than restaurants. Then the next question we come along and say, are there any types of food service businesses you would like more of in Bolton Main Street quarter? And that's like the different types. And then you can ask specifically if you want, how often, I guess this is saying how often do you go out to eat? It's really what it's trying to get. Not in Bolton or anywhere else. And then I think after those two questions, we should ask, would you be willing, or would you vote for the town to allocate tax revenue towards improving the infrastructure in town to support restaurants or other businesses, something like that.
Is it a 15 question limit like the other one?
No, it actually is going a little higher, but if we got rid of 10, we wouldn't add more questions. Or we could even leave
get
it.
rid of 10 would open up room for adding the, are you willing to contribute tax revenue?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I'd worry about is fatigue getting through this. Like, how much time are we expecting? And I know it's just a single question, but I would probably give this about 3 minutes of my time if I were to be honest, if even.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say remove question 10. Too specific, maybe. And then I'm gonna say place question 12 types of businesses.
I know we don't have a ton of time and I don't want to cut us off before we go through the rest of the questions, but I'd be interested to know if, like, the last time we did a survey, do we know what the response rate was? And then how can we try to help improve that number this time?
Yeah, I'm sure we have the number of respondents. And I think just, you know, I think the EDC could definitely help with marketing and pushing it and trying to get it in people's, you know, face. Because if it's just, you know, put out there once, people forget about it. And you know what I found with like Backyard Bolton is, you know, you post something 20 minutes later, it's already gone, and you just have to keep on hammering it away. Even
I wonder
if
if we could use one of the first Backyard Boltons to help like push this. Like if we strategically release a survey around the time of that, we could be like, we could have a table where we're trying to push people to
Hand out a flyer to
recognize the
everybody.
survey and do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure the time frame, but that is definitely good.
I mean, they're going to send this out as an email through the town, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, what I'm saying is they send out an email.
No, I get it. I just was hoping that it wasn't just going to be like a Facebook thing.
Yeah. Oh no, it's hopefully be as many avenues as possible.
Yeah.
So place question 12 types of business ahead of restaurant question. Then follow on with question 11 and 13. Then ask tax or town funds. I don't know what you say. Town funds.
I actually liked the use of tax revenue because you're like saying, hey, we're trying to bring more business. We're going to use tax revenue to help push this forward.
Okay,
Yeah,
tax
but I
revenue.
think I guess the question I would have with that is I would absolutely agree to that if it meant like defunding something else, right? I mean, is that what's being proposed, or is that an option?
I don't think so. I mean,
right. So it's got to come from additional revenues raised elsewhere, right?
to allocate additional tax revenue toward building out public infrastructure. Like Amy said, you know, this is all well and great. Oh, but it's going to cost me something. No, I'm not that interested.
Right.
Okay, those are all great points. Okay, let's see, where are we? Find myself. So we did that. Please rate. So we're starting to get into fatigue, as Alan said. So please rate your overall satisfaction with the following aspects of the Main Street corridor. Dissatisfied, very dissatisfied to very satisfied. Selection of retail stores, selection of restaurants. I mean, I feel like this is almost a repeat of selection of restaurants, recreational entertainment, availability of information about businesses, appearance, aesthetics, appeal.
This is going to be helpful. I mean, this is probably one of the more helpful questions.
Yeah, this is. Now that I'm looking at it more.
Yeah.
Like landscaping, what it looks like, public spaces. Yeah, I guess this is different.
Like your heat map.
Yeah, exactly. Just hopefully people make it to here. Do you have any suggestions for changes the town can make to improve the Main Street corridor? So this is just kind of open-ended. Tell us what you think. And then they just took some pictures of random kind of downtowns. I think one of these is Groton. You know, I don't know how about this question.
I
Which are
kind
fine.
of liked it. I thought it was
Okay.
like gonna be, as long as people answer it, like, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I know where that is. Oh yeah, I like that, or I don't. Like, it kind of helps paint the picture for.
Yeah, I mean,
what-
it's like real estate. People love to look at pictures of real estate. So
Okay, yeah, okay, so basically, like we were saying originally, like, oh, like what about Groton? What about this, But I think it's better to, I guess it is good to get the visual. Like, what do we have here? Like, these two look like kind of, I don't know, this looks like Bolton right here to me. This more looks like, this might even be Hudson. Look at it. I don't know. So this is what they were trying to get with the, residential at the top. I don't know. But whatever, we'll see. What do you like? How old are you? Do you have children under the age of 18? Good information to have. So those are the two surveys.
Does this go out to people? I guess since we're asking about demographics like age and whatnot, do we care about renters versus owners?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just people who live here. And there's
I don't
going to
think
be
there's many renters either.
there's going to be a lot more renters soon.
I've got some renters that live right next to me.
That's true.
One of the few.
Let's see. So it's been an hour. I don't want to take
Oh,
up.
shoot, I gotta go.
Sorry.
That's
I don't
okay.
want to take up. I was going to talk about other things, but I think that was.
No. I'll stick around for a few minutes.
We need something to talk about next month too, right?
Well, we finally
Yeah.
had something to talk about, so it's good to have the survey.
Survey. Comments. What else was on the agenda? Let's see. I have so many windows. Where am I?
I did realize, Eric, too, I forgot to say, I bought those like zip ties back for the wreaths. So at some point, I could bring it up the next meeting too. I don't know if there's a window, but just to get reimbursement for those.
So Valerie's busy, but she needs to work on this vacancies list. So we don't really have much to talk about with that yet. That would, we would definitely really need to get that. And just discuss business district zoning. I mean, it's basically, I think the survey is the most important thing right now. See what the town wants or not.
I think that'll be really fun to see.
Yeah. The only other point I should make is it's about getting to be the time that we probably got to pick the backyard Bolton dates. I don't know. We've been doing 2 in August and 1 post Labor Day. And so looking at this, what's September 10th, 27th and the 13th. Let's see, quick, somebody pull up when the Bolton Fair is.
I just
We'll try-
did. The 12th to 14th is the Bolton Fair.
Okay, let me pull the calendar back up. Can you see my calendar when I have it open?
Are we avoiding that weekend?
I have been.
I don't think it really matters. I feel like there's no traffic down 117 for the Bolton Fair anymore. I don't know what
Well,
they've done, but they've completely eliminated a lot of traffic.
Well, last year you had to you couldn't even park there, right? You had to get
Or
children.
although I think a lot of the vendors that may
Yeah.
come to Backyard Bolton
Yeah.
go there. So,
Yeah,
okay.
So you said it's the 12th through 14th?
yeah.
So I guess we should do, I think the 6 people are still off wherever they are for the summer. So maybe the 20th, 27th, and the 10th. This is August 20th, August 27th, September 10th.
Yep, I
Is
think
that,
that looks good.
is that too compact or is that good?
No, I think that's good.
Because I think August 6th is probably too early.
Too
I
early.
don't know.
I think what you suggested is good as well.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That was the 20th, the 27th, and the 10th, is what you said?
Yeah. I mean, so just to close this out, other things that just continue out the media thing. I know Amy's been doing great with videos and the webpage is still hanging out there. We haven't really done anything with that, but I guess who goes to web pages anymore anyway? We probably, next meeting, maybe we should look at that brochure we have because we're kind of running out of them, I think. But I think there's been some changes in the businesses and stuff. So that's,
Yeah, we have a lot of I mean, we could put some new ones in there for sure.
yeah. So maybe I'll send out the PDF of that. You guys could review it for the next meeting. What else? I mean, if anybody ever wants to write any story or do any reporting or anything on any types of businesses, I know we have that. Amy, maybe some a video with the owner of that Baba Sushi place. See.
Is that open yet?
No, they're going to do some renovation and stuff, but maybe you can get the inside scoop or something.
Okay, I'm on it.
Intrepid reporter. Or intrepid. I think that's it. I thank you all for this really great comments on the survey. So I'll get this to Valerie, and it's really good feedback, I think. Anybody have anything else to add?
Do you have any idea when they're sending that out?
I don't know, but when I find out, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how long do they keep it open for? Do we know that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find out. And maybe we can have feedback on that too. We were really just going over like what should be in there. I don't remember talking about timeframes, that sort of thing.
I feel like we should spend some time, not in this meeting, maybe in the next one, but talking about ways that we can make it easier for people to access. Like, could we create like little cards with a QR code on them and put them in Bolton Orchards and the Bolton Bean, and just like leave them around town so people can grab them or hand them out at Market Basket or whatever. How can we capture the most possible data from the town is what I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we talked about it the last meeting, like even canvassing like the soccer fields and
right? Yeah.
baseball fields, and the town. I know, like when people are running for positions, they always sit at the transfer station. So maybe we go to the transfer station one morning or something and set up a table, or I don't know. We could talk about that, I guess, how we can push it, because I think a bunch of those questions, especially about understanding if people are good with businesses in the town center or Forbush Mill, is all good information. And it would be.
I think people will actually be excited to fill it out, because it's like a chance for them to say what they want.
I mean, I know when I talk to, I always say this. You have the Bolton that goes to town meetings, and then like everybody else. Like when I'm at the soccer field or the baseball field, everybody wants businesses. They want things local. They want all this stuff. Are you willing to pay the taxes to improve the infrastructure is a question. But who goes to town meeting is very different from the 90% of the population in the town, I think.
Right.
What are they going to do with the results of the survey, though? Because I think it's,
well, I think
it's one thing to have these results, and then if you don't do anything with them, then people will be like, well, why did I?
The intent is to shape the economic portion of the master plan with this data. Yeah. So we have a 10, 20-year plan backed up by a very detailed survey from businesses and residents.
Does it really have to be 10 to 20 years? Like a lot of these people are going to be gone by then.
It's like when you think like planning, that's, you're always thinking like 10, 20, for instance, there's been a discussion of the horse ring field, which is behind the school, behind, there's a company that wants to come in and it's going to be on the warrant. They want to lease that land for 25 years to put solar panels on it. And a bunch of the power will go back to the school, which is good. But do we need that field for anything else? Do we, are we willing to give it up for 25 years? I guess, that means the land.
That's where my daughter plays lacrosse, but the field kind of sucks. It's like full of bugs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that's what people say. The discussion is like that field sucks anyway. So who cares? And it's tough to get to. And when Alta Vista, Bolton, whatever it's called, comes in, it's going to be even harder to get to. So.
Oh, sorry.
I'll take that as the alarm to leave.
Yes. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. All right. I appreciate, I assume we all want to adjourn. So thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.